So, good evening and welcome to yet another live interaction session for the course Learner-Centric MOOCs. I hope participants, I think we are coming to the end of second week uh, in terms of content release. We'll be starting with third week of content, hopefully in a day or two. And this is a good time to retrospect on what all you saw in week 1 and week 2. I think week 2 we have already started LEDs. So a lot of people, I'm expecting to have a lot more of questions on LED reflection spot. How is all this practical? I was looking at some of the questions that our TAs had collected, but we'll just be going through most of this. Pardon my voice. I'm having a sore throat, so I may not be able to speak very loudly. But I hope I am clear to all of you. But yeah, we will start some initial impressions of weeks 1 and 2. Again, 2 or 3 people among the attending participants just unmute themselves and share their experiences of the first 2 weeks, reflections of the first 2 weeks. We'll be more than happy to listen to it before moving on to the questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, all of you. I'm Namita from Ahmedabad. The week 1 was little hodgepodge because I was new to the whole concept of LED and LXI and LBD and everything. And also, there was a lot of curiosity, like how would the entire content would be presented. But as I went through one by one the LEDs, I became more and more familiar. And now in week 2, it had been a very smooth journey for me. And I'm really enjoying, the discussion forum and the practice questions.
Thank you, Namita. Good to hear that. I'm hoping that you will continue with this same enthusiasm in the upcoming weeks also. I think we have a slightly larger, more tougher ideas to abstract in the upcoming weeks. So we hope that your enthusiasm will continue and you will take part in a lot more interactions in the discussion forum. Yeah, anyone else who would want to voice in their opinions? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm Nandini.
Yeah.
I'm Nandini from Goa, and it's my first time at doing something like this. So initially, it was like completely. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to do, but I just went through the whole uh, to week 0 and then to week 1, and I'm slowly getting the hang of it. I'm enjoying what I am getting because it's completely new for me, and I hope that I continue, to enjoy the work that comes along.
Yeah, I mean, we also hope that all of you will enjoy, and this I think across very different. So this is I think the 9th offering of the course, and every time when we are setting up interactions, we always see some person who has never done an online course coming into it and suddenly getting awed by the sometimes even burdened by the set of activities that we have already put in place for them. But I hope, I mean, see, the thing is, it's also about some of the basic essentials. So all of your teachers And just for this particular course, you are now moving towards, you are wearing a student hat, you are trying to learn things, and you know how students are, right? I mean, I don't think you are also any exception when you start learning courses. Even
Yes,
we
sir.
also become like a
Yes.
learner. We also tell the same problems that we we otherwise listen from the other side. So, but I hope, see, the major message that I would want you to really look at is don't get bogged down by the variety of content and the variety of activities. The idea is that each of you try to participate to the best extent possible. Samarth, you may want to mute out certain people if the mics are on. That might be useful.
Sure. Sir, may I speak one thing?
Yeah, Dr. Sunil.
Actually, sir, is it possible to arrange this live session in the in
Uh, Dr. Sudeep, Dr. Sudeep, you will have to unmute Dr. Sudeep.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, I am speaking that is it possible to arrange the live session in the Saturday, or is it compulsory to attend in the weekdays? Actually, I
Uh,
am in evening college, so sometimes it makes problem for me to attend the session. But it is very interesting to share the listen or share the views from all of the participant and you, and it also helps to some doubt clearing. So
yeah.
just I am requesting.
Yeah, so one of the reason why we selected Thursday as a day, I mean, there was this question: should we do Thursday or Saturday? One of the reason why we put up Thursday as a possible date is because Fridays we release the new week content. So Thursday becomes an ideal time where the past 1 week's discussions, content, everything, reminders, everything can be uh, shared with learners. And I mean, yeah, I mean, so okay, so frankly speaking, we are not doing any big learnings over here. Why the live sessions? Like what you said, a lot of people are there. They are sharing experience, and it is interesting in general to attend these live sessions, and that's the hallmark of a good learner-centric course. Uh, we will see whether we can do a Saturday session also, but it also depends. I mean, a lot of our schedules have already been made based on the
No.
Thursday.
It's okay because everything has to be depend on the program schedule. So it's not a huge problem, but just my request. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think there is another person who has put up their hand. Ekta Khate.
Yeah, hello. I'm
Hello.
Dr. Ekata Ghate from
Yes.
Pune. I'm working as assistant professor in COAP, Pune. I'm a professor of physics. I'm
Okay.
teaching
Okay.
physics to engineering students. Yes.
Okay.
So right now I'm finding this course very interesting because on the parallel lines I'm also doing Google for Education course. So I
Hmm.
already completed level 1 of that course
Okay.
and I'm now preparing for level 2. So it is basically all the AI Google tools for education, and
Yeah.
they are developing in their role in the development of digital pedagogical techniques
Yeah.
tools.
Exactly.
Yes. So on the parallel line, I'm finding it though so correlating.
Hmm.
So it's like I've already started developing a Google Classroom using LEDs and other things. Let's see how it works. I will share my views when once it is finished. I can get also feedback from my students that how they are finding it because I am using AI tools, Google tools, and now that LEDs. So let's see how it works. But very interesting and very useful for any kind of teaching learning experience.
Yeah. Thank you, Ekta. I think
Thank
yeah.
you.
So let me just put in a couple more things. In general, yeah, any tool for that matter. At the end of the day, it becomes more productive when you have very efficient pedagogy, or very superior pedagogies associated with it. And what we are introducing through this course are the superior learner-centric pedagogic principles when the setting is massive, open, and online. These three are three different beasts altogether. So how do you manage this, and what you can learn from this you can adopt in small classrooms, physical classrooms, because the underlying principle behind all the pedagogic techniques that we are talking about, or the designs that we are talking about, is nothing but active learning. So active learning means, even if you are learning alone, it should be like a dialogue with someone, right? And in a setting like where there is a community, I mean, it should be a social learning. That's what LXIs or these live sessions are talking about. LBDs, there should be repeated micro practices with more constructive and personalized feedback. So just like how I'm, let's say, as instructors, we look at the comments that you are saying and provide very personalized and very specialized feedback to you in a interaction setting. I think the principles, they are, they are seamless and they apply across multiple settings. So that is more critical. Like what Professor Ekta was saying, the Google tools, be it Notebook LM, Google Vids, Flow, all these are new age tools with support of AI that can actually make the entire process more engaging for both the learner as well as the facilitator. So over here, one of the major things that you have to always remember is information at this point is available for everyone. So how do you evaluate the information that is provided? How do you present it? And how does it provide a critical, especially with AI, the most important aspect of it is the critical evaluation of the information that is being presented, be it in terms of notes, be it in terms of mind maps, be it videos, podcasts, whatever you do. How is the information that you are passing, how does it get critically evaluated? That becomes the major point, and that is a skill that a learner has to gain by learning. I mean, as to how do you evaluate information that is just flooding upon you, and how do you separate the wheat from the chaff? I think that's
Yes.
what the major part is.
Yeah. Now, I want to add one more thing. As we were talking about reflection spots, posing a question or a MCQ question or a quiz. Now with AI tools, even in a live or any other YouTube video, you can add a reflective spot, and you can frame a question using that, set the answers so that the learner will see the video. Okay, we'll check the question, we'll answer it, we'll check the answer itself, and then you can even discuss by using Notebook LM. You can discuss a particular question during a live session also. So
Exactly.
that's a very interesting thing. So for LEDs or reflection spot, AI is doing a great job with that. Yes.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else who have gone on, tried to use tools, and where they see the application of some of these learner-centric pedagogies? Anyone else who would want to contribute to the common discussion? If not, then we will jump into the questions and comments that we have received over the last 1 week. Samarth, if you can share the questions, maybe we can go through
Yes,
them
sir.
one after the other.
Yes.
While Samarth is sharing, let me remind all the learners, the assignment due dates and deadlines have to be respected. Week 1 deadlines are, I think, it's coming pretty soon. Please make sure that you do both assimilation quiz and assimilation quiz along with knowledge quizzes. You do at least one of the assimilation quizzes, and I think reflection quiz is out now, so please make sure that you do all three types of quizzes from your end. Okay. Yeah. Samarth, yeah, you can start the questions.
Yes, sir. So the first question that we have is in LBD 2.3 in Pythagorean theorem video, can reflection spot be introduced at t is equal to 49 seconds as the instructor has not spoken or clarified about the area of the square after t is equal to 49 seconds. I believe this can become an interesting activity which we can do among ourselves. So if we can wait for a second, I'll share the video itself and maybe we can have a discussion on what everyone thinks about whether or not uh, like what type of reflection spot we can add and at t is equal to 49 seconds. Just a minute, I'll share the course video.
Samarth, you will have to share the tab alone, not the window, for the audio to be
Oh,
clear.
all right. I'll share the tab.
Go to the Google Meet, click on present something else, select the
Yes.
Chrome tab. Yeah.
Yes.
So while Samarth is sharing it, I think one of the major things about, I mean, yes, so this is not a math class per se. So Pythagorean theorem, we put that video because a lot of you would be familiar with up to 10 standard math. At least either you have gone through them at an earlier stage, or you will have someone, either your kid or some friend, a friend's kid who will be learning this or would have learned this during the same amount of time, right? So that's why we chose a math content which everyone is familiar with. The theorem is also very popular one. But the idea that, I mean, can there be multiple types of reflection spots? So the key point about reflection spot is also in identifying when to ask a question, right? And it can vary based on the learner. Some learners, it might be easier to, I mean, you start off with more, start off at the start of the interaction itself, you ask them to think, or somewhere maybe once you, I mean, so the style is very different. You are, as an instructor, as a learner, you will look at a lot of different aspects before deciding on when to add a reflection question, even in your regular face-to-face session as well. So see, one of the, that's the major point of reflection spot. So reflection spot is not just limited to, it should be a MCQ question, or it should be a yes or no answer that they have to do. It could be open-ended discussion. So reflection spot can actually lead to a complete discussion forum activity, LXI, as per the definition of LCM that LCM is giving. So the idea is to engage the learner during the process of learning. Okay, so I mean, learning dialogues are one part of it, but learning dialogues mean it is a sequencing of content. I mean, the contents are chunked and sequenced in a logical manner, and you introduce reflection spots in between. So yes, the reflection spot can come anytime, at the start, at the end, in the middle. It can be even, and the type of reflection spot can also vary based on what the audience is, how deep you have gone with the lecture, the dialogue, and also a variety of factors like platforms or other tools that you're using as part of the online learning. Yeah, sir.
Is it audible?
No, the window will not actually.
No.
Yeah, no, it's okay, Samat. Let's go to 0.49, somewhere 0.40.
Okay.
Let us go to 0.40 and
Okay.
let us see what is happening around that time. But the key point, I mean, so whatever that question was posed to, though it was very specific to the video, I think it will be a good idea if you can post this particular question as an LXI, an additional LXI. Needn't be an LXI, it could be an open-ended discussion, so to speak. And based on each one's response, then is there a spectrum of reflection spots that are emerging, right? What are the other places where such questions can be inserted? I mean, it would be an interesting activity for participants to engage in. Yeah, Samad, let's move to the
Yes.
next question.
Yes, we
let's
can move to the next
move to
question.
the next question. Yeah.
Just a minute. The screen is visible. Yes.
Yeah.
So the next question is, as a student of B.Ed, how can we implement our knowledge in teaching world so that it justifies the process of education by this course?
Too generic. I mean, these are like deeper questions. Why am I teaching? Why am I learning? I mean, it goes up there some places. But it would be interesting to listen to the observation as well as the feedback. Yeah. Samat, if you could read the observation that the learner has made.
The observation is learner centricity is must, as in this tech time to teach students of 6 to 8, we need much more things. But at the same time, this course is one of them. What possible change can we do for improving the critical thinking and creative thinking? Because as project, we do it. And there is a lot of syllabus on teachers to complete till the exam. So there is much less time for these sessions.
Yeah, so I think these are perennial problems and perennial tensions as teachers. I mean, there is a idea concept of syllabus. Learners should learn this, learners should learn that. Frankly, I mean, I may sound very radical and very outspoken in that sense. I don't think you should be worrying about syllabus per se. I think the core part of any learning process is, can you instill the skill of learning to your students? So, why I'm telling this is because a lot of good institutions, what they focus on is providing good good points of discussion and content sources for students, facilitate social learning in a more meaningful manner, and provide very challenging but relevant assessments. A combination of this is what learning is. The effort to learn, that is something that you cannot substitute. The only thing a teacher can do is, how do you make this more meaningful for the learner, and how do you make this effort more appreciable, in sense, not appreciable, I mean, how do you make the learners appreciate the effort to put for learning something, right? Learning something well. So in this manner, so if you already have constraints like syllabus, time, age, all these then completely takes you away from the broad idea of learning. So why are we learning? So why are we learning is because we have to function in a society through the learning that we gain from various different subjects or various different activities, right? So if you keep that at the forefront and make sure that in one or two core areas they understand how learning happens, then you could see that they will do the same thing. I mean, so for any learner, any new content that you introduce, is going to be completely foreign, completely alien to them, right? So the methodology of how to learn it is what you are doing as a teacher, be it a B.Ed, be it a pre-KG, be it a, of course, in pre-KG and smaller classes, there is a lot more of uh, character building, habit formation, etc. that happens. But towards, I mean, once your prefrontal cortex is stable, you will see, I mean, a lot of these things get. It's all about ensuring that you understand yourself. What is your process of learning? It's called metacognition in pure scientific terms. But the moment you are able to teach someone how to learn, I think that solves the problem. So if your focus is on that, then all these other things will become secondary to you. But that does not take away the real issues like syllabus, curriculum, demands of all this, the tensions that are there. So I think how you should be looking at it from a slightly long term or the longer arc is, you would want to reach a stage where ultimately you are able to transfer the process of learning, I mean, how to learn, to your students. And each of your teaching session is one step in that direction. So you learn something, just like how difficult it is for students, that there is a big syllabus and you'll have to learn it in short duration of time. With respect to that batch of students, your syllabus is how do you make this much of students understand such big chunk of maybe science, arts, whatever be the subject that you are teaching, right? So for you also it is a slightly larger syllabus, but the point is, are you learning it correctly, right? So that's where learner-centric principles come into picture. So are you able to provide more learning dialogues? Are there more learner experience interactions in your classroom? Are students able to do more learning by doing, both inside the classroom and outside the classroom? And more importantly, are students able to pursue extensions, learner extension trajectories on their own? I think that's the kind of what do you say, report post or a goal post that you have to keep in your mind. Tick those buttons, always reflect on that, and that will help you better understand the entire process. Yeah, definitely. So as Meghna said, I mean, so over here, one of the important part of it is peer learning is critical. So whatever you're learning, so each of you are putting in some comments to which we are able to respond. So there is a lot that we are learning from each one of you as well. I mean, so I'm not talking as an instructor per se, but as a learner. So what we all have to understand in the process is we are both teachers as well as learners. We are student. I mean, we are all students in this entire process. Only thing that has now happened with all the technology and other things are the acceleration and the enormity has just grown in our mind. But if you look at the fundamental process, what am I learning? Why am I learning? How am I learning? These are three simple things that is not going to change. That is the foundation for any learning process. Yes, Ahmad, let's move to the next question.
Yes. So the next question is, how would I be able to create content to teach children socio-emotional skills, especially since the content is so vast?
So the observation is I have found the videos easy to understand, and I would like
And
more reminders on
course
course deadlines. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have an answer for the first one. So if any of you know what the answer is regarding the question about how to teach socio-emotional skills to the students, I mean, I also have a 5-year-old to whom I would want to teach the same set of skills. So if there is any expert out here or anyone who has attempted it, feel free to unmute and put in your opinions, or you can even put that in chat. We will just read it aloud for the benefit of others.
Sir, I have a question here, but I don't know if it is feasible. Can I float the question around?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, in the week 2 material, you have given the tools that we can use for editing, for PPT, for video recording and all that, right?
Yeah.
Rather than going through the manual, because sometimes it's really, really confusing when we go through the manual. So can we not have a hands-on training with all the tools? Will that be possible?
I mean, what you are essentially saying is a sort of tutorial or lab that is associated with this particular course, right? I mean, if I understood it correctly.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Because some of it is not very clear when we go through the materials.
Absolutely. So, see, one of the major limitation that we have is, if we set up a scheduled session, how many people will be able to attend that session is one of the major limitation. The other part of it is also about, we have given so many different tools. So if we focus on one tool in that, that is also a disservice, because there are the varieties there, but you are not being provided too much depth into each of it.
All right, sir. So in the examination, will the questions be based out of the tools as well?
No. There won't be any tools or anything. So whatever you see as tools are things for you to practice.
So we can practice at our ease.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
will not be in the examination point of view, right?
Absolutely no.
Thank God, sir, because I need a lot of time to look into it. I cannot run with the week.
Yeah. So again, one more aspect that you have to relook for this particular courses. It is more of a conceptual or a sensitization towards learner centricity. We are not. So this is not a course on how to make learner centric videos using XYZ tool. Okay, so that's not this course. This course is what is the principle behind making learner centric videos.
Understood. So it's not technically basing a MOOC and developing a MOOC.
No.
It's just understanding the concepts behind how a MOOC should be.
Yeah, and if you have time and energy and other things, so we will introduce constructors for each of the learner-centric item. Like we'll have an LED constructor, we'll have an LBD constructor, which will provide you with basic worksheet kind of thing, right? A worksheet or a template kind of thing that can help you in better designing each of those elements.
That would
But
be
yeah. But again, the way you will have to work on it is put it out in the discussion forum, gather feedback from other peers. I think that's how it will work. Of course, this learning platform is one, but other way of looking at it is within your personal circle also, the official professional network that you are having within your region. I think that's also another place where you can get a lot more of it.
College is we have a system where there is monthly assessments for the faculty. There are various parameters like publications and all that. One such thing is the development of a MOOC or an online course. There is a parameter that we are assessed on. That was the only reason why, because I was clueless about how to go around with the MOOC. I have the contents in hand, but I do not know how to roll it out and materialize it and take it into a shape.
Yeah. So that is a completely different art. That's a completely different skill, which is basically deployment or actual implementation of a MOOC. What we are teaching you over here are the basic foundational principles that you can use. So it's like in some sense, how would you? So it is like a B.Ed without the practical, right?
Understood.
So you learn a lot of things, you experience a lot of things. You experience this as a learner. You experience learner centricity as a learner, and that's what you should focus on. So wear your student hat over here and experience each and every learning instance or learning app. And that ideally, if you abstract a little, you should be able to provide a similar experience to your learner. That's what we are doing.
We have to put ourselves in the place of a learner and look at the course and what challenges we are encountering.
Exactly.
Perfect, sir. Makes a lot of sense.
If allowed, I would like to pitch in, Jackie, onto this place.
Yeah.
That okay, we have this course, as what JK said, this is a B.Ed without practical, but we have lot of people into this course who are all the time available, and we can make use of them. Like, we can discuss it with them, we can collaborate with them, and then ask them how this content which I have right now in hand, how can I give a shape to it in terms of MOOC. So with this thing can absolutely be done, right? This is where the peer learning comes into picture, I feel.
Yeah, but the problem would be that we will not be able to set it up as a tutorial session where we should, yeah. So synchronous participation is difficult, but we are already implementing constructor-based practicum, so to speak, in our course. But it is not a mandatory component like in B.Ed where the practicum is mandatory, right? So only if you understood the content, then you have enough time, you have energy. That's when we recommend that you do the constructor. But that, I mean, if you are doing a constructor, that's when your learning becomes the best, right? You have understood and you have tried to implement something, so you get more learnings in that process. And I mean, when so you look at all these LEDs now. I mean, when we initially created, we were happy with it, but now when I look at some of my own videos and the kind of LEDs that I have created, I mean, I feel like I could have done a much better job. And that's what do you say, the hindsight of the power of hindsight, so to speak. And that comes only with experience. The more you do, the more you understand, the more nuanced it will be. So some of our answers would also, I mean, as our experience with the course and with other learners improve our own. See, that's what it's a learning is a continuous process, and we just have to be in the mix. That's why we say that, I mean, we are not just the instructors, we are also learning from this process, this entire exercise along with you. Yeah, Samat, let's move to the next question.
Yes. So this, I suppose we will have to take part by part. This is from one learner only. And so the first question is, how do you decide the ideal length of an LED and the number of reflection spots to include in it? The observation is...
The answer to this is going to come in the next week as an LXT. So I would really encourage the learner to actually go through the next week's content, where we will be summarizing a lot of things related to the LED. I think even the second question, what criteria do you use to choose most appropriate? I think this particular thing is part of this week, right? One of the LXTs, when to use which medium, right? Or is it part of the next week's content? Okay. I mean, when we had initially created it, we had condensed everything into 1 week, but we later realized that that might go a little bit hard on the learner. So we had split some of these contents into two parts. So the questions are genuinely, I think it comes because they are more worried about creating an LED. So it comes from the right intent. But yeah, please wait for, I mean, another important skill that you should teach your learners is patience. I think, I mean, there's, as I see my own self moving across, I think the patience has gone down significantly even for me. But I think it's a very good virtue. You have to be patient just for a week. You will get the answers to this.
Sir, another question, sir. Generally, the NPTELs, I have taken around 5 to 6 NPTELs so far. So technically, there is a week module that is updated every Wednesday, and then every Wednesday we have to submit the assignment and start the fresh week. But I'm not getting used to the system here. Like, when will the next week be updated, sir?
So I think I mean, we follow the standard NPTEL release schedules ourselves. So, for example, I think the content is released every Friday. The assignments are due on every Wednesday. So it's not released on Wednesday. The content gets released. Every new week gets released Friday, and you get 10 days to submit the assignments. Now, unlike regular courses where there is a sequence of content and then there is one single assessment, over here there are 3 types of assessments based on the type of activities that you that is already available in the course. So you have a knowledge quiz, which looks into the LEDs, the concepts discussed in LEDs, and that comes in the knowledge quizzes. We do have learner extension trajectories. This is for you to pursue something more beyond the core content, and you have the assimilation quiz as an incentive for that. Then there is the discussion forum, the LXIs. To incentivize that participation, we have the reflection quiz, but the reflection quizzes will come after a week of discussion, right? I mean, you put out the content, discussions won't be, I mean, I cannot preempt questions in discussion forum, right? The questions are created on the basis of the discussions that happened in that week. So all the components are important. Each one has different weightages. So incentivizing participation is what we have looked into in terms of all these assessments.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So Samar, let's continue with questions number 3, 4, 5, and 6. So how do you balance content depth with learner engagement in MOOCs? A lot comes to experience. A lot comes to experience, and in a MOOC, it's not just experience, it is also about the team that you have. So if you look at our own learner-centric MOOC, so we are 4 instructors, Professor Sridhar, Sana, Samir, and me, who created the learning dialogues initially. But if you look at each and every edition of our course, you can see teaching assistants in this course. So for example, for this edition, it is Samarth and Meghna who are the teaching assistants. But we also have how many discussion forum moderators, Samarth or Meghna?
We have 4, sir.
Okay, so there are 4 discussion forum moderators who are carefully looking at what you are posting and providing you responses. So all these discussion forum moderators are coming from the previous editions of the course. They are toppers in one of the previous edition of the course, and when we had sent out an invite to open call for these toppers on joining the course as a discussion forum moderator, that's when they have joined. So if you look at it, we have at least 4 plus 2 plus 4, 10 people managing a single course. So so never think of an online course as a single person's battle. You need to have enough number of people, and when the learners also join this particular team, that's when the real fun happens, and that's when the real learning happens. So for each of you who are asking these questions, getting clarifications, providing your own point of views, they are also providing a lot of value to the entire course as a whole. So that's something that you have to realize. When I say it's not a single person's thing, it is a team effort. You need that many number of people. Now, the content depth, balance between content depth and engagement, a lot is dependent on what the intended goal of the course is. Over here, I don't think the goal was never to make you do a complete learner-centric MOOC as a teacher yourself or as a course team yourself. That was never the intention. The idea is to strengthen or reinforce the principles of learner centricity. I think that is the nuanced difference that you have to understand, and the depth is chosen in such a way that this particular aspect of the principle is reinforced sufficient number of times. One, each of your activity is learner centric. I mean, so we teach, we practice what we teach. So a lot of times you would have seen, even before you heard about learning dialogues, you would have come across at least 2 or 3 learning dialogues before you heard about the term learning dialogue, right? So that's what I mean. You have to practice what you are preaching first, especially in a course like this, for the message to be powerful, for the learning to be more meaningful. So that's what, like I said, I mean, the process of learning is what we would want to focus over here, not a tool, not a designing activity, not a large workshop, so to speak. Yeah, the next question, what common mistakes do instructors make while designing reflection spots and how can they be avoided? See, a lot of these mistakes you realize far later in the time. I mean, at that moment, you would realize, like I said, I mean, I myself am a culprit of very poor reflection spots throughout this course. I'll be very frank in admitting it. Now, when I look at it, I would have said, oh, I could have done a much better reflection spot at this particular point. It does the job, but yeah, the depth, I could have a lot of it, a lot of these mistakes, I think. When do you realize that, I mean, you cannot be a perfect designer in the first iteration. A lot of it is iterative learning. A lot of it is also gaining from experience. I think there are no substitutes for this. No AI can teach you that. No teacher can teach you that, because it is all about experience. The teacher will also let you fail multiple number of times before passing on that gyan. See, this is what I told. So yeah, so there is no correct answer for that. I hope that you get enough experience as you try learner centric. The only thing that is constant over here is attempt everything. Do not fear of failure. Do not fear about syllabus. Do not fear about reactions. All these are constructive inputs to your learning design. Okay, so the next question is, how is learner feedback
used to improve the course design and subsequent iterations of the MOOC?
And what strategies do you recommend to keep learners motivated and reduce dropouts in long online courses? Okay, so there are 2-3 items over here. So I see a question, explain reflection spots, that's coming from Sujata Charles. I'll try to encompass all these 3 things into one or slightly longish response. So all of you, I mean, if you look at the start of the session, something that I asked is, please provide your comments on how the journey is, right? So think of each of your learning journey. I mean, when you start off the content, I mean, that's what we would also wanted to look at. So basically, when I ask this question, you think back, okay, what did I do over here? And this is our expectation. What did I do in the week 0? For the week 0 content, not during the week. I mean, you would have, some of you might have linearly followed the content. Some of you would have done mishmash of the content. But the point is, at some point of time, you have to stop. It's not about just consumption. It is also about pausing, looking back, and thinking about what did you do, right? And several ways of doing it. As instructors, the feedback that is coming from you, right, that goes into it. So that goes our learning journey also. And that is also a reflection spot for us. Now, learner feedback, getting learner feedback through these kind of sessions is a reflection spot for us. Whereas for learners, while the content is coming in, the opportunity to pause, reflect on what was discussed till now, and respond back to a question or a comment, that is what reflection spot is. It could be, it can happen in an actual video. It can happen during an assessment. There will be a question. In the feedback, there might be a question. So what did you do, right? So you should think about, okay, what did I do to answer this particular question? In reflection spot also, somebody might ask, okay, what are the ways in which you try to solve this problem? So all these are points which forces you to stop, pause, look back, think, and then assimilate a lot of things, right? So that is what reflection spot is. But from a pure learning perspective, with respect to the learner-centric MOOC, reflection spot is a terminology that is associated with learning dialogues, because what we see is an instructor and a learner interacting, and there are places where the instructor does this with purpose. So that particular spot, whatever the activity that comes over there, so that particular spot is the reflection spot. And you will have a question that you will that the instructor poses back to you. So that's one one definition of reflection spot. Another thing about what learner feedback and how do instructors use the learner feedback to make the content more this one. And generally the expectation is when you do so much engagement with learners, hopefully they are enthused and they don't drop off from the course, and that's only expectation. And there are no fixed ways of ensuring that the learner does not drop off. So I don't have a clear answer of how to avoid attrition, but yeah, I mean, we try.
There's one more question in the chat box. Need to know what exactly a simulation quiz meant for. Sitesh Gosar raised this query.
Yeah, so see, assimilation quizzes, I mean, any quiz in this particular course are basically incentives. Something that we realize is learning cannot happen in vacuum. I mean, you will not have learners just learn for the sake of learning, right? Definitely there should be incentives. It could be certificates, it could be marks, it could be career progression. There are several different things associated with it. So the quizzes are some evaluation points that we introduce in the course so as to test and ensure that there is some basic understanding of it. Assimilation quizzes are a very specific assessment or evaluation mechanism that are associated with learner extension trajectories. So learner extension trajectories are not mandatory components. They are, it is up to you to decide which trajectory you want to take. But why would somebody take a trajectory, right? So if we provide you content on very specific aspect, which is in the learner extension trajectory, our assimilation quizzes are the incentives associated with these explorations that we allow learners to take. So Sitesh, I hope I am able to, so from a regular class perspective, if I were to explain this, I mean, ideally you would want your students to do X, Y, Z. Let's say in your curriculum, it talks only about X, but you would ideally want somebody to do Y, somebody to do Z. Not mandatory, but it would be good if they do all those things. Now, why would they go and do just because you say, right? There should be some incentive. So how do you do that incentive? That is the assimilation quiz. Yes, Sitesh.
So can I speak? Basically, I just want to know, like, assimilation, as from your explanation, assimilation quiz is other than the normal quiz, which is graded, right? This is only from the extension trajectories.
These are also graded. There is a weightage for the assimilation.
Okay. But this is mainly from the
extension trajectory.
Trajectory. But you told that is additional one.
It is additional. It is. I mean, so like I said, if you want to go into something, please go ahead. There is an incentive for that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Ekta is asking another question. Is it possible to correlate the Bloom's taxonomy level with reflection spots? Correlation is always possible, but I would advise you against doing those kind of mappings because different subjects.
No, can I specify my question?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask is, there are different levels, as we all know about Bloom's taxonomy. Remember, then understand, then apply, right? Analyze. All these are the different levels. So if it's a maybe 45 minutes video, okay, then I will place the questions as per the Bloom's taxonomy. The first question, reflection spot, will be for remember. Second will be for understand. Third will be to apply. So that it will be like more evolution of the learning process. Is it? I don't know whether I'm on the correct track or not.
Yeah, so see, a lot will depend on what the topic is, right? So imagine, let's say you have a 5-minute video which generally talks about different AI tools that are available in the market.
Yes.
Okay, now there isn't anything very specific other than recalling or understanding that these tools exist. There is nothing else that is needed for that particular video, right? So then you will not do beyond understand. And typically reflection spots, the idea is not to frighten the learner. I mean, the learner has
Yeah,
already consumed. You are just validating the answer. So most of the
yeah,
times
yeah.
you will
That's
not
true. That's
cross
true.
you will not cross an understand level when it comes to a learning dialogue. But again, this is not a rule. This is not a hard and fast rule. There could be intense material that somebody is discussing, and you would want somebody to synthesize all those information, right, or analyze those information as part of a reflection spot. But generally, the
Yeah.
idea is, while you're moving across multiple contents, the learner does the reflection spot activity and comes back to the content. You will have to bring the learner back to the content. So he should not go away from it, right?
Yes.
So that is something that you will have to keep in mind.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Samarth, I think we can move to the next question. We will definitely look at the observations. I read the observations. Very nice. I believe the learner is thinking more of creating their own courses. Some of those things that you are mentioning, I think once you start developing your own course, massive open online course, you will get answer to why some things are possible while some things are not possible. So a lot of practicality is also involved in an actual course offering. Yeah. Let's move to this
Yes,
question.
next we have, yes, feedback. So the first is include more real world examples and case studies. This would help learners better connect theoretical concepts like LEDs, reflection spots, and learner centricity with actual teaching and MOOC design scenarios.
Point taken. Yeah.
Next, we have provide more annotated examples of well-designed LEDs, showing why certain reflection spots, media choices, or chunking decisions work would strengthen practical understanding.
One reason why we are not doing it is because, like I said, it is not about creating your, I mean, the ultimate intention is not about the depth that we would want to go to, does not warrant this much intense treatment. I clearly understand why the questions are coming, because they would want to make their own moves. That's where all these questions become more burning questions. The current course is not at that level. It is all about sensitization and making people understand what the learner-centric principles are from a learner's perspective. That's one reason. That's one limitation we would openly acknowledge that. Yeah.
Next is add shorthands on design activities. Simple tasks such as redesigning. Oh, we have a question in the chat.
I'll take care of that. Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'll repeat. Add shorthands on design activities. Simple tasks such as redesigning a short lecture into LEDs or identifying reflection spots in a sample video can reinforce learning by doing it. Then we have,
So yeah, see, I think this is coming up. I mean, it's too early to. I mean, many of these things are coming because the next week's content is not released yet. So please, you will find all these in the next week's content, definitely. So please do. I mean, again, my request is please do be patient. Wait for the next week's content. I completely understand where these questions are coming from, but we are taking these as inputs for our refinement of the course for the upcoming term. Yeah.
yes, uh, fourth one is share common pitfalls and best practices, highlighting typical mistakes instructors make while creating LEDs and MOOCs. This would be very helpful for first-time course designer. Uh,
Okay, so over here, the first time course designers, that is why a group or a peer group is already existing. And that's why, see, the first time course designer, and I clearly sense where the questions are coming from, as in they would want to really do a design and implement a MOOC immediately. Uh, the fortunate thing is you have a wide variety of peers who are supporting you over here. One recommendation is please go engage in the discussion forum, participate more, get feedback from learners over here. That would be my first reaction. And the second thing is, yeah, I mean, pitfalls. Even expert MOOC creators do still make mistakes. So there isn't an instructor who has delivered the perfectest MOOC to my knowledge. So that, I mean, mistakes each time you will come across. Yeah, one thing to ensure is that we don't make the same mistake twice consecutively. You can make the same mistake at a later point of time. That's okay, but do not make same mistake consecutively. I think that's the number one lesson that I have. Yeah,
Few questions in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm responding to that.
And the last feedback is offer optional advanced resources. For learners who want to go deeper, additional readings or videos on instructional design, assessment design, and learner analytics could add value.
Already we are providing these as LXTs. I mean, we may not see, the one thing that you have to understand is, yeah, I mean, all these are learner expectations. So please do realize that what is doable within a course setting. I think that's the number one thing that you have to understand from as an instructor. So over in this course, I don't think the idea was to go, I mean, overwhelm the learner too much. I mean, if you want more resources, so the easiest way of doing it, I mean, it needn't be us talking about these resources, right? I mean, we point you to certain resources based on certain extensions that we think are more relevant to the course. So you could just track back from there. Why was this resource? I mean, where did this resource? Who else have recommended these resources? And then you can do a backtracking from there and figure out other resources in the due course of time. And nowadays, I think there is enough with the help of simple Google search or AI search techniques. There are enough and more information that is available. I don't think it's about the information. It's also about how do you do this more precisely? How do you critically evaluate this information? For that matter, LCM is not an ID. I mean, though LCM is an ID, this course is not an ID course per se. It is only about sensitizing you. We do have constructors in the coming weeks, so everything cannot be delivered in the first week. There is a time to tell. So we need to slowly move across. We need to familiarize you with all the different aspects of it. And that is when we introduce the design part of it. Okay. Yeah. And thank you for your observations. I mean, we understand that you are looking into, you are feeling the learner centricity, which is really nice. There were a couple of other questions from in the chat. Dr. Raja Perumal was asking, he was mentioning that he's confused regarding the positioning of reflection spot. Dr. Raja, it's more clarity on when to use what reflection spot is coming up in the upcoming week. Samarth, Dr. Gargi's video is there in the upcoming week, right?
Yes.
So there is a summary about learning dialogues and reflection spots, and this will come as an LXT, if I'm not mistaken. I would want you to hold on to these questions for the upcoming week as well. If you still face issues, one simple thing that I would recommend is post this in the discussion forum and see whether there are others who are facing the same difficulty, or if someone else has understood this and is able to respond to your question at the moment. Okay, we will definitely have learning content released tomorrow that will clarify a lot of this, lot of the issues that you said in your comment. So Prabhat Kumar Mishra is his question is, what widely accepted practice or best practice in your professional field do you believe needs the most urgent re-examinations, and what specific unintended consequence have you observed that promotes your skepticism? The re-examination, the most urgent re-examination is only needed in what you feel you are confident of telling, right? I mean, ChatGPT says a lot of things confidently. So how confident are you about your own knowledge? I think that is the most critical part, and it has always been the most critical part in any learning process. So I mean, I'm not a skeptic per se. I have my own view of where technology helps, what technology is more useful for, and how you can better adapt technology. So separating out the technology and the human behind the technology, especially when you are scaling, that's not right. I mean, every technology has its own culture, its own DNA, so to speak. So it's also about understanding the DNA of the technology and faithfully adapting it into our context. That's the more important aspect of it. And it has been, I mean, you have people like Neil Postman who have been constant critique of computers and other new medias as they speak, right? I mean, go and read up Neil Postman. That would be a fantastic reading for all of you. His readings are much more relevant in this day. I mean, even more relevant in these days where AI is ruling a lot more. So that's Neil Postman is something that you should definitely read. Dr. Raja Perumal is having a problem with mails.
Sir, I've answered it in the chat itself.
Okay, great. Anvesha Khan has a question, clarification from your end. I think this is, will help me a lot. Thank you, Anvesha. Yeah, Samanth, any more questions? I think
Yes.
we have already overshot the time that is
Yes.
allotted for us.
Yes, we have overshot by 10 minutes, and well, it is always good to hear from learners, and everyone is so
Absolutely.
enthusiastic and they're going above and beyond in their engagement with the course. So I hope we maintain this enthusiasm going forward as the content will become a little more dense, a little more engaging. And please do bring your thoughts, suggestions, insights, feedback, everything to the discussion forum also, and in engagement with our fellow peers, with our DFMs. And yes, thank you so much for joining. And I think with this, we can wrap up. Thank you, JK sir, for joining despite having a sore throat. Thank you.
Yeah, once again,
And
thank you for all those good questions. You forced us to think, you forced us to think beyond what we usually come up with during live sessions. So I wish everyone that you will continue with the same fervor and the same enthusiasm. I know it has been a long weekend, holidays helped you all, and now you are going back into the murkiness of regular day-to-day academic routines. But please do not lose touch with the course. Like what Samath said, please post your questions also on the discussion forum. Engage with peers. I think that's the more critical aspect that would help you in the long run to better understand how the dynamics of a massive open online course will benefit. Thanks everyone.
thank you, everyone. And we'll see you in the next Thursday live. Thank you. Bye. Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.